The rich don't just enjoy crazy low tax rates in the US, they also take the lion's share of special tax deductions, tax exemptions, exclusions, credits, capital gains, and other loopholes, tips, and tricks designed to help them pay even less to the IRS every year. Anything that reduces the amount of taxes that you owe is considered a tax expenditure because it's money that the government could be taking that it is instead essentially paying direct to a taxpayer. These tax expenditures are extremely expensive. In 2017 alone, tax expenditures reduced federal income tax revenue by 1.5 trillion. That's more than was spent on Medicare or Social Security or even the military. Most of that money is going to the rich. As the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities described, the value of these tax breaks increases as household income rises. The higher one's tax bracket, the greater the tax benefit for each dollar that is deducted, exempted, or excluded. Corporations and the rich invest a lot politically to grab these government gimmies. In 2013, there were 17,500 registered tax lobbyists prowling DC whose full-time jobs were to carve out special exceptions to save money on their employers' tax bills. That's 32 lobbyists for every single member of Congress just working on tax breaks alone. Even with all these sweet loopholes and giveaways, the rich are still working overtime to avoid paying even the shrunken tax burden served up by the US government. The IRS estimates that only about 84% of money owed by taxpayers actually gets paid. The 2016 tax gap, the amount of taxes that were owed but went unpaid, was 458 billion. The IRS only managed to claw about 52 billion of that back from delinquent taxpayers. As with tax expenditures, the higher the income, the greater the benefit to simply not paying your taxes. So it feels safe to presume that the rich make up a significant chunk of this scofflaw group as well. The tax systems in Scandinavian countries are considered high effort, high collection, meaning that their governments make sure they capture a much larger share of potential tax revenue than us. The US tax system is considered low effort, low collection, meaning that there's a lot more our government could do to bring in tax money, but does not. If we add up annual tax expenditures and unpaid taxes, the US leaves about 2 trillion in possible tax revenue on the table every year. That's a lot of money that could be spent on programs that could make life better for non-rich Americans. Universal health care, free college, subsidized childcare, you name it, without even modifying its other jacked up political priorities, military industrial complex. The mind positively reels at all the things the US could afford to pay for simply by collecting taxes that it could be collecting but does not. As writer David Sirota noted in his book Hostile Takeover, tax cuts for the rich don't protect from devastating floods like New Orleans had after Hurricane Katrina. It's spending on the Army Corps of Engineers that does that. Similarly, tax cuts for the wealthy don't fund medical research or educate children or pay for Social Security. Again, it is the power of our collective wealth that accomplishes these things. The rich would like very much if you forgot that government spending is necessary for the American economy's long-term health. I get that you're frustrated with the way our government takes it easy on the rich and spends our tax money unwisely. But if we were in control of our government, if we had control over what our government spent money on, like is supposed to happen in a representative democracy, or a republic, as some of you seem to prefer calling it, we wouldn't be making those same choices. We can take control of our government. We can change the priorities about how our tax money is spent. All we have to do is remind one another that it's possible and organize to make it happen. It is within our power to do so. Everything is on the table. Please like, follow, favorite, and subscribe to my free Substack. Let's make them pay.